All right. Mark Osegueda, I sing for the band Death Angel. Yeah, lead vocals. I was born in San Francisco. For the first 8 years of my life, I lived in a little town called Pacifica, just south of San Francisco, a little ocean town. It was wonderful, you know. I lived in a little small house. It was me and my sister. My sister's older than me by 4 years less, and my mom and dad, who are still married to this day. It was a cool upbringing, you know. Me and my sister were first generation American. My mother was born in the Philippines, my father was born in El Salvador. And, you know, where we lived in Pacifica, it was very, very culturally diverse. You know, a lot of Latino people, a lot of Filipino, a lot of Asian, a lot of black, a lot of white. It was just kind of everything. It was a hodgepodge, it was a melting pot. And, you know, it was a great time to be alive, you know. People were skateboarding and BMXing, and that's what me and my kids, you know, me and my friends did. And I was lucky enough to be around an era where 1970s stereos were big and a lot of vinyl. And my dad was a big vinyl collector at the time and had an amazing stereo. So music was always a big part of my life. And my father never wanted me to be a musician, mind you, but I knew very early on from how music affected me that that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. And when I hit 8 years old, midway through 3rd grade, my family up and moved east of San Francisco from Pacifica to a town called Concord, which was a complete and utter shock to me because it was midway through 3rd grade. And at that time, Concord was not as culturally diverse as Pacifica when I moved there, so it was very interesting. And I mean, moving to a new town in the middle of a school year is hard on anyone, and definitely moving there was extremely difficult for me because it was, you know, yeah, just wasn't as culturally diverse, and it was very interesting. There was a lot of fights, a lot of fighting in my first 2 weeks there, but you know, I kind of fought my way up the social ladder, and you know, I had friends within like 3 weeks, and it worked out all right. You know, my dad was an avid boxer and trained me in boxing since I could walk, so I held my own when I was 8. I beat the cultural diversity into them, and you know, I made friends that way, the old school way, I guess. But you know, they started it, I finished it. I was at that particular school from 3rd to 5th grade. Then they changed the schooling zones because that town was growing so fast. But what was a good thing about it growing so fast was cultural diversity was coming to that town. But then again, I was finally made friends 3rd to 5th grade. Then I got moved to a different elementary school my 6th grade year, which would have been like my final year there. I got moved to another new elementary school. But I knew a handful of kids from there just from playing soccer and different soccer teams. So I had a core group of friends that I made through that, and stayed with them through junior high school. Then went to another high school in that town in Concord, only for my freshman year. And then moved, and you know, then I was playing soccer, and I thought I was going to be, you know, soccer player, but always wanted to play music. Then moved my sophomore year to my senior year to another school in Concord called Clayton Valley High School. I went to a high school before that called Concord High School. And, oh, interestingly enough, a junior high school I went to before that was called Eldorado Intermediate School. And I was the student body president there. And I got impeached. I was the first student body president in the history of that junior high school to get impeached. Gotta rewind that. Now fast forward again. So then I leave Concord High School that I went to for 1 year, go to Clayton Valley High School. That's my sophomore year. That's when I joined Death Angel when I was 15, and quit playing sports, much to my dad's, you know, disappointment, and pursued Death Angel. And you know, it was a lot of tough work, you know, a lot of naysayers, and you know, hell, I still had naysayers pretty much until last year. But you know, things were going good. I stuck to my guns, and I'm proud of where I ended up. But ironically enough, The Ultraviolence, our first debut album, came out my senior year in high school, the last quarter of my senior year in high school, which was ironic. I ended up being the senior class president of my high school and singer of Death Angel. and I made it through the entire year. I did not get impeached. And it was actually, you know, people have their horror stories about high school in '92, but in all honesty, it was great for me. I had a great time, and a week after, you know, a week and a half after I graduated from high school, I toured for the Ultramarines. So, you know, it lended to me what it needed to, but music was my destiny. I had metal very early because I just liked rock and roll, and you know, my dad was into music, so he had, you know, Deep Purple, he had Led Zeppelin and stuff, so I'd already heard that. And then, you know, I think it was Rob and Dennis. You know, we were all roughly the same age, and you know, we were all cousins, so we all just kind of hung around each other at family gatherings, and we all got into Kiss. You know, and Kiss was our first band. You know, like Led Zeppelin was my dad introduced me to. Don't get me wrong, Led Zeppelin was my band. But you know, Kiss was like us kids, our first band. You know, we were like, whoa, that we clung on to, that our parents didn't get us into. And that just kind of, you know, the springboard after that. You're like, I want to hear more, I want to hear more. So then it became, you know, Sabbath, AC/DC, and then what's this Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. You know, as you grow older, you just kind of keep more and more and more. You want heavier, you want faster, and it just kind of start hanging around with peers who turn you on to this band and turn you on to that band. You like this band, you should check out this band, and yeah, that's what got me into metal. Still love it.